Well, without all the fanfare, this is Raw Talk with Respect. I'm going to give you some raw thoughts tonight. Didn't start with the banner and, the Raw Talk with Respect because there's some things on my mind that I really, almost like a spiritual awakening, that I think is very positive and necessary to not only share, but to try to connect in a way that's effective, that you will hear me and stoke your curiosity of what we're going to talk about tonight, and that is the power of positivity. From your words to your actions to consistency and dealing with all the matter in between, behind, before, that creates and shape the paradigm that we think is our thought process. Is it really your thought process, or did someone create it for you and you just continue with the pattern? We always say, or we do a lot of the times, but I've always done that. That's what I always do. And words are powerful. Think of it this way. Say you go and you see the doctor tomorrow, and the doctor that you're meeting, you've never met him before, or fill in the blank, and you create an opinion of this person. And that person has to overcome that opinion based on your previous thoughts of situations, circumstances. That can't be fair. And we start from there. And it grows and festers, and we either feed that, or we have the capacity to take a step back and internalize that that's a person just like me and want to be thought about the same way, with a free plate, free palette, free board, free mural. You get it. And so I was listening to a podcast a few days ago, and it just continuously solidifies in my mindset of, you have a responsibility at your core being as a human being to affect everyone you come in contact with in a positive way. So consider, what if everybody that you talk to, interact with, social media, on the phone, text message, nothing you got all day long was but positive reinforcements, good words, uplifting? What if all of those were that way? What do we lose? If we do that, what do we lose? As opposed to, what's the gain? And if you're a betting person, you know the gain way outweighs the loss. So why don't we do that? And I think if we're really having a conversation with ourselves, we know why we don't. Because deep within us, we have those shame, guilt, animosity. We don't know how to discuss it. We don't want to discuss it. We'd rather do it in secret, and it does nothing but fester and build and tear down our relationships. And the ones that we do have, we pick and choose. Aren't we worth more than that? What if someone picked and chose you? Can we be selfless enough to change the course of not only ourselves, but our families, our heritage, our lineage? Because everyone has something that we can point to and say, hey, look at this. Every book has more than one chapter. Most have I read. So are you defined by that? Or are you defining someone else by that? No, don't skip over that thought. Are you defining someone by that, whatever that is? And is that okay? Question for you to ask yourself and answer. It's rhetorical. But that's self-reflection that you have to deal with. Me, I'm at a point in my life where I'm not getting younger. And whether I understood it or not, I impact everyone I come in contact with, even if it's fleeting. And that's a hell of a responsibility when you strip it down. You'll stand next to someone on the elevator or go inside, you go up in the car, the third floor, fourth floor, and never say a word to that person. But that person can impact your life in a second. But we walk around with this false sense of security as if it's just about us and have no regard of how somebody else is doing, when we can a lot of times see it. So what are we going to do? Are we going to continue the path that our fathers, grandfather, and great-grandfathers did? We know the things that we can learn from. So if we do, are we making a conscious choice not to do those things based on how we feel at the time? No one wants to be made fun of, looked bad, degraded. But we do that so much. We look for things on people to make ourselves feel better. From childhood, hot and encasing in the lunchroom, and those that you know what I'm talking about. We do that because it's cultural. We're taught. And I'm tired of being a worker bee mentally. So therefore, I'm not going to be. My family's not going to be. My friends are not going to be. And everyone I come in contact is not going to be. I will affect them in a positive way. And if that person is not in a positive way, I'm going to do everything I can to facilitate that. That is my job. When you go to work, people that work with you, why do you feel like it's your responsibility to make them better so the job is done well? You get paid for it? Yep. So that person that you see for those amount of hours is worth more to you than the people that you live with, the people that are your family, the people that you call your friends, or even your associates. And that's real. And that's taking a damn hard look at yourself. And hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. We all have a lot to work on. I'm just coming and telling you, I am there and I am going to continue to go that way because that's what it's about. You are here to make people better. And I don't give a damn what anybody else thinks, because what really matters is what you think. Like that person on the side of the street that's asking for money, you don't think, what is he going to use it for? You don't give a present to get a present back. You don't say, I love you, because you're expecting it in return. You do those things freely. That's what makes it real and genuine to the people that you're telling or giving or doing it to. It's easily identifiable if you don't. And we lose sight of that because we are just so immediate gratification, and we just about us. You know it's real. The shit I'm saying to you is real. And I'm not charging you. The shit's real. And you know it's real. We think it in our psyche all the time. We just don't say it out loud. We have the conversations with our friends, with our family members, people that we don't like. Then when we're not in front of them, we go somewhere else and we're talking shit instead of, hey, let's go ahead and confront why I feel the way I feel and what happened, and see if we can come to some kind of agreement, compassion. No one has to win or lose. We use those words mentally. I'm winning or I'm losing. What about helping someone else win instead of helping someone else lose? Black, white. They are necessary to identify, but they are not who you are as a totality. You are so complex. And we don't do the work to find out how complex we are. Why? This beautiful human being that has so much to give can't understand that they are worth it because of the people that they are choosing to be around, or where they came from, or they don't feel like they can. But you can. You can. You really can. I met a little older lady, about 82 years old, and she talks through a tracheostomy tube where, you push the button. And she made a statement to me that was so impactful that I want to share it with you. This woman said to me, she reminds me like of my grandmother and my mom. She said, in the last month, you have checked on me more than anybody other than my daughter and my family. No one else. Break that down. She's 82 years old. And that is a joy point of her life. Now you tell me in 82 years, I'm sure she's had some other ones. But since she's have a whole bunch, it should be normal. Someone opens the door, it should be normal. Someone says thank you, it should be normal. But we're shocked when they do it. And that tells you the experience of that person, if you're paying attention. People pay attention to others. They are screaming at you. Sometimes a whisper, sometimes a scream, but they are talking to you. And it is your responsibility to listen, because you have the capacity, the wherewithal, and you are good enough for them to even give that information to you, so they see something in you that they need. Help them. And be willing to accept the help as well. The stuff that you don't want to use, discard it. But I guarantee you, anyone can talk to you and tell you some things. There's some things that you can take out of that and utilize. Goes back to that, when you meet people, you automatically have an assumption. And they have to overcome that. Why? Why? Who gives you that authority? And that's where not only it starts, it's ingrained from childhood until you think deeper and you break that cycle. And you can and you will, if you want to have a great life and impact others. And you will probably anyway. But on a deeper level, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about going at a deeper level. It's, as I look at my notes, I'm thinking about the question of, when I asked earlier about if we just sent positive messages, just that. Every text message that you sent tomorrow, and then the next day, and then the next day, you fall off on Thursday. You get back on Saturday because somebody pissed you off. But if you did that, I believe that not only the energy that you're putting out there, that's what you're going to get back. I believe that you uplifting someone, it's very difficult to not smile at someone when they smile at you, unless they're creepy. So I know that if you're putting that out there, regardless of how you feel, because you're putting someone else before you, you're going to impact them. And I'm going to tell you this as well. Some people, this will definitely resonate with them. Some people have had people smile or just say something to them, and it saved their life. Literally. You just don't know what's going on behind that front door. And if you don't, consider that when you're in your feelings. Because there's several ways to get to your house. When you leave your house in the morning to go to work, Think in your mind how many ways it is to get to that destination. But you can still get there. You don't have to go the same way. So mentally in your mind, why can't you do the same with the people you care about? Oh, I've tried everything I can. There's no helping them. I've done everything I can, D. I've just done everything I can. Begs the question to consider for you. How would you feel truly behind closed doors with nobody knowing and nobody other than you? How would you feel if you knew someone gave up on you that you cared about? How will they feel if they knew you gave up on them? I am experiencing that in my mind daily, past and now moving forward, because there's a lot you have to make up for. Because remember, not because you know now or you're learning to know, you still have affected a lot of people, and that's on you. That's whoever that may be, including myself. And that's for me to do, and that's for me to do with the people that I need to do with. But moving forward with people, family, friends, people I say I love and care about, people I call even just neighbors, I am affecting them one way or the other every time I interact with them. And even when I don't, it is a responsibility, especially when they're face to face and you can make them feel amazing. The same way you can tear them down, you can make them feel like they're 1,000 feet tall. And how impactful do you feel when someone makes you feel like you can go run through a wall or you can do anything in this world? And that's all you needed. That's all we all need. And we have the capacity to do that. And you know what I'm saying too is real. The truth of the matter is this: as I check my messages and people that are sending me stuff as far as questions that they're asking, what I would say to everyone that's thinking these things and asking me these questions, let me answer a few of them. One is this: well, how do you know that someone is genuine? You don't. That's not for you to decide. Accept them for what they're doing. There is some truth to everything. Even when people are joking and they say something about it and they're like, oh, I'm just kidding. No, there's some truth to that. The same way when someone says, man, you're cute, you're good looking, what do you want? There's some truth to that. It's just that you need to communicate on a level to where they receive the information. And somewhere there's a disconnect. There's somewhere some noise in between. Go upstairs, turn on the radio, and talk down to someone downstairs or in the next room and see if they hear every word. There's some noise in between. And that noise needs to be quiet. And that noise usually comes from, we blame it on how we were raised and we have always done that way and we do this. Well, are you the same person you were 20 years ago? Are you the same person you were 10 years ago? Are you the same damn person you were 2 hours ago? So, that's not an excuse. It's an explanation. And ultimately, it's one thing. Real talk, it's a choice. You choose to be good or you choose to be negative to people. You choose that. You can be good to anybody you want to. I'll give a great example that everyone that's listening now and in the future will definitely understand. Check this out. Have you noticed when you're mad at someone that you're around and these people are close to you, maybe your husband, boyfriend, wife, whoever, close to you, you're mad at them. So when they call you or they talk to you, quick, short, not too much engrossed. But then you can have a complete stranger. You can have the handyman call you. And you are piping You're happy. You're zippity doo dah. How insulting. And you ask, how can I tell if it's genuine? And I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. But to you. Because it starts with me. Mike was on to something. Man in the mirror. He was on to something. I'm thankful that in my lifetime, at least, I have some sort of spiritual awakening to where I can understand the things around me in some semblance on that level. Because I am there. I am there. That's what it's about. That's the only thing it's about. People, if you did that, if you even tried to do that, and that doesn't mean you're going to do it all the time, but half the time, a couple of times, hey, when you first got on that bike, you couldn't ride it. Then you started gliding. Then you started pedaling. Then you started braking. Then you started popping wheelies. Man, I'm about to pop some wheelies on y'all. For real. And that's what I'm talking about. We're going to change the way we are in this bubble. I encourage you all to change what's going on around you, and not only change it. Let me take that back. Words are powerful. How about tinker with it? How about, okay, I'm going to show my age a little bit on this. You remember when you were growing up, if you were a little bit older, and they had the UHF channels, and you had to go to that channel and you had to do this? Those that know what I'm doing right now, they know I'm not grabbing a boob. They know what I'm doing right now is I'm focusing in, because you got to get that channel with your hangers on the back of the TV. I appreciated that. It gave me perspective. I hope I'm giving you perspective, people. I am no better than you. I am no worse than you. Know your worth. Let no one steal ever your worth. Because we fall into that based on where we came from and the things that really troubled us and what we learned from and grew from, but still hold on to. You have to find a way to be vulnerable and let that go. To talk to someone you trust, not to someone that's going to tell you what you want to hear, but someone that's going to be real and raw with you and be able to accept, at least consider the information. Doesn't mean they're right. Doesn't mean they're wrong. They're just giving you a different perception. Do you walk around every day and look at what you look like? Now, unless you're like in your 20s and you have a phone, or 18 like my daughter and keeps it in front of her face, you probably don't. So how do you know how people see you every single day while you walk around? Even your most vulnerable moments. Do you know what you sound like when you talk to people? Have you ever heard yourself talk to someone in a conversation that you've taped? How do you know your inflections, what you say, and how they are perceived? Your nonverbals, the things that you do when you're talking to people, that you do automatically that you're not aware of. All that matters. It's learned. And if you can learn to do some things that are not good for you or others, you can unlearn and learn other things that are the exact opposite. Because that's who you are at the core. You're just taught to be something else. Think of it another way. My family calls this the squirrel syndrome, where I go and jump topics, and I'm trying to stay on, but I'm going to stay on the topic, but I want to give you another analogy. Really, I think it matters. Relationships, when you're boyfriend, girlfriend, doesn't matter. Whoever, you fill in the blank. Cousin, family member, associate, neighbor. You know, when you're driving, especially in Texas, and it's sunny and the roads are just real clean and fresh, and you're rolling 75 miles an hour because, you know, speed limit is 70. You're rolling 70, 75. You're good, right? No problem. Then it rains. You don't drive 70 anymore because it's raining. You're conscious of maybe other people might not be the best drivers and you don't want to take any chances. And then it's ice. You definitely are conscious of everything you do. You're making sure you're really paying attention all the time for the most part. In your relationships, when you have your relationships, when that road is sunny and it's great, it's easy to drive. When it's raining, sometimes we create the ice. When it's raining, sometimes we create the ice. And we're still driving 75 miles an hour. That can't end well. I'll just bang up the car and insurance take over and I get a new one? No. Because see, in this instance, it's a life that you're affecting. It's a life. Literally. You are killing someone's soul. That is worth considering. I truly believe that. And I haven't been on my podcast for a minute. Some time to reflect on some things and get my shit in order. Because I got a lot of shit to get in order. A lot of shit to get in order. But just like when you do home improvements, one room at a time, killer. One room at a time. But we're going to redecorate this bad boy. And we're going to absolutely make others feel the same way that we feel ourselves, or we tell ourselves we feel. You're only as good as the people around you. You're only as good as the people around you. And if you think differently, that's your thought. I firmly disagree. Welcome any feedback. I welcome anyone that has any input. I didn't say it for that. I didn't make the podcast for that. I just am in a different place in my life, and I really want people to understand that you are worth it. We say that, we hear that, it's almost like saying, I live every day to the fullest. We don't. Until it becomes life or death, and then we really understand. It's kind of like when you see people that go to jail, they find Jesus. With that being said, you get the point. If you can challenge yourself to be amazing to everyone that you're around, I am going to bet that it will be great for everybody involved. Number one rule of any kind of business: if everyone wins, it's a deal. It's a deal. No selling involved. If everyone wins, it's a deal. You're winning because you're changing someone's life that needs you. Maybe it's not about you. Maybe you are the only person that person can be reached by at that particular time and moment. Don't waste that opportunity. You sure as hell would not want someone to waste it on you if you needed it. And I'm not talking about financial. I'm not talking about anything like that. That's on a very primal nature. I'm talking about deep within your psyche, the part of you that does not want anybody to know about, the part of you that does not want to be vulnerable, the part of you that's not willing to relent, because you may use it against me, and I'm not going to give you that power. But you already have. You already have. You've already given that power away. When they're mad, and then you're mad at them, and you don't do anything, and I'm saying you're mad at them, not that you're not talking to them, not that you're saying, hey, I'm going to let you do you because I'm in a different place, but I wish you well and love you, and I'm down for you like 2 flat tires. 4, to be honest with you, even the flat in the back. But growth is growth. People grow at different levels. People will understand at different levels, and your growth may be different than someone else's. All you can do is entertain the thought to have them consider what you know. Just like with anything else in life, when you learn how to give someone a shot and pull blood. Now you know. You know how to change some brakes. Now you know. You can teach someone. You know how to cook something. You get the point. You fill that little blank in for whatever it applies to you. But the truth is, it's applicable to everybody. And hopefully enough I can break it down in your mind to where you can, I would say, process and digest it. No one eats a steak, 1 bite, and that's it. You break that bad boy down, and it's delicious. But you savoring every moment, and you're learning how good it is. We need to do the work. We are in a crazy way, and you know it, where we are just killing everybody mentally, emotionally, physically. And words are powerful, people. You can kill someone with words. Don't be so careless. If you don't want to say something to them, you don't like them, don't say nothing. Don't say anything to them. But if you can, and you even differ, the whole point is to get what you feel across in a way that they will receive it. And if you say it in a way that they want, you're defeating the purpose and revealing who you are deep within. Do the work. I love all my friends, family, and people that I don't even know yet. We will know each other. If we don't, much love to you anyway. I'm going to sprinkle a little salt on you with my Salt Bay on. You see him? And I will promise you, to those that have been asking me, I will be consistent on staying back on top at least once a week. To those I speak to on a daily basis, hey, let's keep it moving. To those I don't speak to on a daily basis, I still love you. I'll make more time. And to those I haven't talked to, I'm going to do the same. Work in progress, baby. Work in progress. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. So, we're all talk with respect. Love you all. Again, I didn't start with any fanfare and the banner and whatnot. I'm not going to end with that this night. I just want you to understand it's bigger than us. Deeply bigger than us. You have a responsibility to make people better. You can make any claim why you can't achieve that, or someone did something to you, but you control 50% of that equation. You. And you are going to make a choice, and you're going to validate that choice by whatever means necessary. I ask that you take a step back and make a case for the positive side of that, because you don't know their story. You just don't. How many times have you looked at Netflix specials and you thought you knew someone? And you read or you hear their story, you see their story, and you come away and you're like, had no idea. That's because you don't know. And based on your experience, you project. So when you're mad and angry and nasty, you are projecting. Valid as it may be, someone did you wrong. You're either going to do something to make it better. You're either going to communicate in a positive way and set limitations, standards, and absolutely expectations, when your kid is growing up, from day one, they learn what they can and can't do. We don't stop learning that. We don't. We just don't care. And now we can say, I don't care. Whereas when you're little, sometimes I don't care, but yeah, you do, and I will deal with you if you don't. Whereas now, as an adult, you don't care. What does that say about you? No matter what does that say about you? And I'm talking to me. Hear me, people. I'm telling you, this is some good shit. And it's deep. Way deeper than what we're just talking about right now. But that's a little something for you, like a chicken McNugget to digest. And I know that's not the greatest analogy, but whatever, you get it. We're going to keep having some dope conversations. We're going to keep keeping it real. I welcome any topics. Love the likes, love the subscribes. I appreciate it. Anything that I think that I want to share with you, a raw talk or a discussion that I come up with some people, I'll definitely do that. I'm back on top of it. I appreciate the love, the outpouring. Everyone, tomorrow is Tuesday. And all through this week, just to Friday, try it. Just to Friday. Just try it. No one's perfect, but just try it. And see the difference in people. And you're going to say, I ain't going to be fake. It has nothing to do with that. You being fake. You are you. Unless you're walking around here. Well, that's a different story. That's that Matrix stuff. Excuse me. It has nothing to do with you being fake. That's a cop-out. So I'm going to call you on that shit. I don't want to be fake. I want to be genuine. No. See, you're just doing something for someone else. When you go to a store or when someone does something for you, like around that type of business area, you say, oh, thank you. Do I really have to say what I'm thinking? Automatic, right? But you can't do that to someone you love and care. Man, stop the madness. That's the shit I'm talking about. So you can do you, but I'm giving you some good shit and I ain't charging. So take this and run with it because it's good. And those that judge you, I assure you, are projecting. No one is perfect. Say it all the time, don't we? It's projection. Don't take it personal. Your job is to make them better. Don't take it personal. Everyone does not communicate like you do effectively. Don't take it personal. Selfless, compassion, empathy. 3 words come to your mind every single time you think you're about to get mad. Every time. Every time. In the morning when you get up or tonight before you go to sleep, write on your mirror, I'm a badass. Tomorrow I'm going to make it happen. Tomorrow's going to be an amazing day. Tomorrow I'm going to make someone smile. Tomorrow's whatever. Try doing that till Friday too. And then when you get up or when you go to sleep, you see that every single time when you go to the mirror and make yourself look like you want to look. Presentable, whatever. You're talking to this. You're feeding this. You're feeding it positive. Because when you're feeding it negative every day, phone, cell phone, Twitter, blah, 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 telephone, TV, it's not positive. So what do you think is going to come out of this and this? You're feeding it. You're feeding that monster. What are you doing? Wake up. It's just like, I have a problem and I'm really, really overweight, but I'm still eating fried foods. I got diabetes and high blood pressure, but I'm still eating fried foods. How do I know that? Because my father did that, and it cost him his life. Because he was taught that way. Didn't think different. You can point out several in your family right now, same way. You're doing the same thing. It's just not food. You feel me, don't you? It's just not food. And then you'll say to yourself, well, I've always done it. But are you the same person you were? So you know that's bullshit. Hear me, people. I'm just saying to you, intuitively, organically, I use spiritually because I think it will connect communication-wise to people. But let's go past that and say it's all around you. You create that. You are creating the situation. Remember, you're 50% of that. And you can go to your job and solve a problem, issue, or figure a way to do it. You can go to Google and figure out how to do anything, or YouTube, but you can't figure out how to make someone feel amazing, that you love and care about, or even just interact with on an everyday basis, or even flippantly, or even just casually. We're desensitized. No more. No more. Hey, it's been great and amazing. Many more talks to have. I have some other people with me next time. To everyone, have an amazing week. Tomorrow, you go kill it. Carpe diem. If you don't know what that means, look it up. That's what Google does. CARPEDIEM. Seize the day. I appreciate you. I appreciate your feedback. I love you all. I care about you all. And I need you, to be quite honest. Because you check my shit too. Thank you. Till the next time. This is Raw Talk with Respect with your man, D Mainstream.